Hello guys, welcome back. Another day, we're going to be talking about Mitch Marner, his contract negotiations with the Toronto Maple Leafs, and if he'll actually sign an offer sheet. Now, Mitch Marner's contract talks have been a big point of discussion throughout the whole season, but where are the negotiations at? Where are they heading? And will Mitch Marner actually accept an offer sheet? Watch till the end to find out. The Mitch Marner talks are starting to get a little bit complicated. Mitch Marner is an RFA this offseason, and when it comes to the two parties involved, the Toronto Maple Leafs and Mitch Marner's party, they're both pretty far apart on what Mitch Marner's contract should actually look like. Darren Dreger reported that he expects negotiations and Mitch Marner to be pushed back until after July 1st, which is a bad omen, especially if you remember how the Wylie negotiations went. It went past July 1st, it went past August, it went past September, and went all the way until December 1st, where just a few minutes before the deadline of the RFA thing, he signed just barely. And Toronto usually likes to get those contracts done pretty quickly. We saw that with Austin Matthews. Obviously, they went up John Tavares and got him just like that. And having Mitch Marner go past July 1st will be a little bit worrying, to me at least. Just to set the record straight, he's not going to hold out like William Nylander. There will be something to get done. Whether he signs, whether he gets an offer sheet and accepts it, whether he gets traded, he is not going to wait till December 1st to play in the NHL. I pretty much know that for a fact. While it was a little bit of a unique situation for William Nylander especially, I think Mitch Marner won't hold out necessarily that much, though of course going past July 1st wouldn't surprise me. Darren Dreger also reported that Mitch Marner would begin visiting other teams starting June 26th about a potential offer sheet. Not the Toronto Maple Leafs, but other teams. And that is big news to spill for Mitch Marner. It shows that he is really serious about this potential offer sheet and will definitely consider it for his long-term future. And that is big because usually when it comes to RFAs, sometimes they dangle the offer sheet status to kind of get some leverage. But when it comes to if he's actually meeting teams, that might mean he's serious and that other teams are serious too. When it comes to that June 26th deadline, Darren Dreger also reported that the Leafs will have to give up an offer at least of $10 million plus, maybe upwards to $11 million plus for a deal to get done. And that also tells me that the Maple Leafs are kind of lowballing Mitch Marner. When it comes to potential contract, they're probably going to want to give him a $9 or $9.5 million contract. That's probably what they're offering him right now. But if he does go and Kyle Dubas does want to go for a little bit more, and especially if they trade a guy like Nikita Zaitsev, who's been in the rumors as of late, that can clear up some more space and could definitely make the option of Mitch Marner signing sooner rather than later a much bigger possibility. When it comes to this whole offer sheet thing for Mitch Marner and the interviews that Mitch Marner might have with other teams, it likely is also a ploy and a negotiating tactic for the agent of Mitch Marner, Darren Ferris, who again, he has his job to do as well as he can. He's likely using Darren Dreger, him reporting the facts, to get a little bit of advantage on Kyle Dubas and the Toronto Maple Leafs. And it's been floated around that with Darren Dreger reporting that he wants upwards of $11 million, when Mitch Marner probably signs for less than that, he'll look like this hometown hero. And I kind of see it happening, especially with a guy like Darren Ferris, who has been pretty stingy in the past when it comes to some of his clients, and Mitch Marner is definitely that. When it comes to this whole situation, again, if he makes it look like they want $11 or $12 million and then signs for like 9.5 or 10, he'll look like a hero, and it probably will work if it happens. When it comes to the whole offer sheet thing, we haven't seen an offer sheet offered since 2013, but if there's anybody that will get offer sheet offers, it is Mitch Marner. One of the best RFAs we've seen in the last few years. He's either going to get paid with the Toronto Maple Leafs or some other team, because you know there's a team that would want to give as many first round picks, I think it would be 4, to get a guy like Mitch Marner, especially if they're in a somewhat decent position as a team in general. And I think a guy like Mitch Marner is something that not a lot of teams would want to pass up, and if the Toronto Maple Leafs again don't want to end up signing him, or at least pursuing the amount of money that Mitch Marner wants, I could really totally see Mitch Marner again interviewing teams that want an offer sheet and possibly accepting it. When it comes to the whole $11 million plus contract that's been floating around and that Darren Dreger reported, I'm not sure if that's actually what Mitch Marner wants or if that's just a negotiation ploy. But when it comes to the Toronto Maple Leafs, what's for sure right now, they can't afford that type of contract. Unless they trade guys like Nikita Zaitsev, Patrick Marleau, Connor Brown, literally everybody that's slightly overpaid on that team, and they turn him away. Maybe then they could sign him and Andreas Johnson and Kasperi Kapanen, but it's pretty unlikely. When it comes to the Toronto Maple Leafs, the fact is they're probably not going to be able to pay him what he probably deserves, which is probably $10.5 or even $11 million. And that's a shame because you want to see Mitch Marner paid, but right now it's probably improbable, especially this offseason. But if Toronto won't pay Marner what he wants, and if Marner and the camp will be stubborn on what they actually want, we're kind of at a little bit of a stalemate here. And it does kind of remind me of the William Nylander situation last year, where of course we saw him hold out. Now again, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think Mitch Marner is going to hold out for 2 months in the NHL season, but it could still be we see the contract maybe happen in August or later down in the offseason. Now that would be unfortunate to see. I want to see Toronto get the deal done with Mitch Marner, but it might not happen that way. If Mitch Marner and that cap continue to be stubborn, which they have so far, Toronto might not have the cap available right now to do that. Now, if they trade a guy like Zaitsev, if they trade a guy like Marlowe after those contracts are done, maybe they can sign a guy like Marner, but at that point, again, it still is pretty unlikely with the other RFAs they have to sign too. And if the Toronto Maple Leafs aren't able to afford what Mitch Marner wants, and Mitch Marner, again, that camp is stubborn until the end with it, I wouldn't be surprised if Mitch Marner at least pursues offer sheets. Now, whether he signs one, of course, is the topic of discussion in this video, but I think he will at least pursue a couple of teams, especially for the teams that are kind of interested, that are in a good position right now. And when it comes to, again, teams that might be in that position, I think first they got to be a playoff team this past year. I don't think a team that was out of the playoffs will want to really sacrifice for first-round picks they'll likely want to sign them for. But there's some crazy teams right now that are going to do something big this offseason, and whether it is signing a guy like Mitch Marner to an offer sheet is to be known, but I think it could happen, and the possibility, of course, is still there. And this has been brought up quite a few times, but I still think it is valid. Let's say Mitch Marner takes just under $10 million at $9.5 million. He's already the most beloved Maple Leaf in Toronto. That's pretty much guaranteed. But if he takes under $10 million after asking for $11 million plus, he'll look like an absolute hero. And even then, it's a difference of $1.5 million a year. He can make that up easily in endorsements, advertisements, autographs in just a year of that. The guy would be an absolute hometown hero if he takes under that, and again, I think he would make up that money. Now, when it comes to this whole negotiations, obviously, for Mitch Marner and the camp, it's a big thing about what's actually on the contract and what that number is, but again, I'm saying he can make it in other ways, and if Mitch Marner is creative, if he signs under $10 million, he would easily get maybe even more money if he goes that route. And then, of course, we go onto the offer sheets, and the team is possibly offering that. Yes, Mitch Marner would probably get more money with a team that's offering an offer sheet, but he would get nowhere near the love, the endorsements, the advertisements, the autographs. While a team, and most teams would love to have Mitch Marner on their team, the fan base wouldn't exactly grasp on it in the same way the Toronto Maple Leafs fan base would, especially if Mitch Marner takes under $10 million. And that's the thing. When it comes to another team, if he's going to take an offer sheet, it likely is going to be for a much smaller market. It can't get much bigger than the Toronto Maple Leafs, and that's the thing there. With Mitch Marner, he's not going to be playing on his hometown team. He's likely going to get more money, but less money probably at the same time. But when it comes to a potential offer sheet, the biggest questions is what teams might actually pursue an offer sheet. I think the first team we have to look at is the Montreal Canadiens. There was a rumor about a couple weeks back that they would maybe be pursuing an offer sheet of Mitch Marner and maybe even a guy like Kasperi Kapanen. But when it comes to that rumor, I think there is some truth to it. Montreal, again, has an amazing prospect pool. I don't know if they need their next few first-round picks because they'll likely be a pretty fantastic team in the next few years of how much youth they have. But adding a guy like Mitch Marner to that already pretty solid forward core would do wonders for them. And I think that is a pretty solid fit. Mitch Marner being in Montreal, I think would play pretty well there and obviously would get quite a bit of money. If he does sign there again, he probably would go for probably $11 million, but maybe even 10.5. But Montreal also has the cap space to think about it. The next team that might be in on Mitch Marner is the Minnesota Wild. And they're pretty interesting because they were heavily in on William Nylander when the home contract negotiations were happening. There were some rumors they might get traded there. There still was after he was signed. But a guy like Mitch Marner will be a great bet to get there as well. Now, Minnesota is interesting because they should be in a rebuild phase. They've obviously stalled rumors of going guys like William Nylander, guys like Phil Kessel. That trade was almost done. So it's obvious that Minnesota is rebuilding and not rebuilding at the same time, which is a terrible thing to do, by the way. But getting a guy like Mitch Marner for how Minnesota is trending right now wouldn't really surprise me. Again, they went after Phil Kessel. Phil Kessel did not want to go there, so they could go for another big-time guy and a big-time winger, and of course, Mitch Marner would certainly fit that and would be the best player on that team. The next team that might be in on Mitch Marner is the Carolina Hurricanes. They're very interesting, like Minnesota. They were also in on William Nylander back in the day when the whole contract negotiations were happening, but Mitch Marner also could fit very well in Carolina. Now, obviously, they have some defensemen to give back to Toronto if they want to go through a trade, but an offer sheet could still make sense. They got a lot of cap space that they can afford to give a guy like Mitch Marner, and again, they were kind of in that situation before. When it comes to the Carolina Hurricanes, they're an up-and-coming team. I feel like it would be a pretty big risk to give away those first-round picks, but they should make the playoffs in a lot of those years. They're giving away that first-round pick, and getting a guy like Mitch Marner would definitely add to an already pretty solid forward core. For Mitch Marner, if he only cares about the dollar amount on the contract, an offer sheet might be the way to go. It would definitely be the case if a team like Montreal or Carolina does go after an offer sheet, because they'd probably offer him more money on the contract. But again, when it comes to Toronto, there's a lot more opportunities in Toronto to get more money in external ways, and that's again something that I think Mitch Marner should definitely consider when it comes to the contract and the offer sheet situation. Even if some teams might make sense, I still think an offer sheet is pretty unrealistic. While Mitch Marner would be the guy to potentially sign a thing like that, I still don't think it'll actually happen. When it comes to this whole really offer sheet thing, I think it is a negotiation tactic to get guys like Kyle Dubas under pressure and to sign guys like Mitch Marner for what they want. I feel like Kyle Dubas and the Toronto Maple Leafs are staying patient, and that's what they should do right now. While you obviously don't want to see a guy like that hold out, I do want to see a contract get done. And for the Toronto Maple Leafs, hopefully it's under $10 million, because that would also be freaking awesome. Mitch Marner is an awesome Maple Leaf. He has been that in his short career so far. For me, as a Maple Leaf fan, I want to see the Toronto Maple Leafs keep a guy like Mitch Marner. He's been fantastic for them so far. And while this whole negotiations thing is kind of wavering me off my opinion on Mitch Marner, I still think it actually gets done. I still think it'll actually happen. And I think Toronto will sign Mitch Marner, and Mitch Marner will be a Maple Leaf for years to come. But of course, with this video, I want to hear your guys' thoughts down in the comments down below. So, let me know what you think about the Mitch Marner contract negotiations. What do you think about the Toronto Maple Leafs side? What do you think of the Mitch Marner side? And of course, let me know what you think about offer sheets. Do you think Mitch Marner will actually sign one? But if you guys want some more Grav videos just like this one, you can click on this card right here to watch my video about Erik Karlsson and where he might sign this offseason. But that'll be it for today, guys. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you haven't already. Again, comment down below your thoughts on Mitch Marner, contract negotiations, and if you think he'll sign an offer sheet. And I'll see you guys next video or stream. Goodbye.